next thing that I'm going to do on the lathe is I'm going to demonstrate steps 11 and 12 on the setup and operations poster. This step is making a taper, one of the requirements for your lathe turn. The two tools that I'm going to use to make my taper are the large gouge. It's the same tool that we did the rough turning on the block earlier. And then to finish off the taper, we'll use the round nose. The round nose tool has a slight taper to the bottom, and we always use the round nose with the flat edge, the cutting edge, facing up. The cutting edge is what does the cutting. The simplest way to lay out the location of the various cuts on your block is to take a ruler and lay it on the tool rest. Make sure that you keep the ruler well away from the turning block. And then what I'm going to do is simply hold the pencil up to the rotating block, and it'll make a mark all the way around the block. I want my taper to run for about 2 inches down the block, so I'll make my final mark at the 2-inch mark away from it. This section will be the taper, this will be the top, and this will be the bottom. Ready? To start the taper, I'm going to use the large gouge. I'm going to begin my taper. And I can bring the gouge in, taper back up into my first cut. After I get the taper roughed out, I'm going to switch over to the round nose. Make sure you have that cutting edge up, and I can go in and finish that cut carefully. Now that we've completed the taper, the next step and the next requirement on the lathe turning is a ball. Ball is simply a rounded edge on your block. We're going to use the large skew and then finish it off with the small skew. It'll be steps 13 and 14. Again, I'm going to use the ruler and the pencil to lay out the location of my ball. I want my ball to be about 1 inch from the end of the block. So I'm going to make a pencil mark there, and I'm going to come up to about another inch and make the other end of the ball. This will be the location for my ball. I'm going to start my cut using the pointed end of the skew. I'll line it up on my first mark, and I'll gradually roll my skew into the turn until it starts creating a ball shape. When I get the lower side of the ball started, I'll flip the skew over, and I'll repeat the process from the top side of the ball. Always remember, when you're doing final cuts on your lathe turning, you want to be running at a fairly fast speed, between 16 to 1900 RPM. The faster you turn, the smoother your cut will be. Once you get the ball roughed in, you can move to the small skew and do your finish turning and your smoothing. Sometimes it's an advantage to you to taper off your block slightly at the bottom and the top of the ball so you don't cut into those parts of the block.